Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
The trait of being resolute. It was his unshakable resolution to finish the work. Analysis into clear-cut components. A formal expression by a meeting. Agreed to by a vote. A statement that solves a problem or explains how to solve the problem. Finding a solution to a problem. The ability of a microscope or telescope to measure the angular separation of images that are close together. Something settled or resolved. The outcome of decision-making. They never did achieve a final resolution of their differences. A decision to do something or to behave in a certain manner. He always wrote down his New Year's resolutions. Computer science. The number of pixels per square inch on a computer-generated display. The greater the resolution, the better the picture. Music. A dissonant chord is followed by a consonant chord. The subsidence of swelling or other signs of inflammation, especially in a lung. The muscle tone of healthy tissue. His muscular firmness. The trait of being resolute. The quality of being steady or securely and immovably fixed in place. The property of being unyielding to the touch. The trait of being resolute. The trait of being resolute. His resoluteness carried him through the battle. Find the solution. Reach a decision. He resolved never to drink again. Bring to an end. Settle conclusively. Reach a conclusion after a discussion or deliberation. The trait of being resolute. A formal expression by a meeting. Agreed to by a vote. Cause to go into a solution. Understand the meaning of. Make clearly visible. Can this image be resolved? Analysis into clear-cut components. A formal public statement. A declaration of independence. Contract bridge. The highest bid becomes the contract setting the number of tricks that the bidder must make. A formal expression by a meeting. Agreed to by a vote. A statement of taxable goods or of dutiable properties. A statement that is emphatic and explicit, spoken or written. Law. Unsworn statement that can be admitted in evidence in a legal transaction. His declaration of innocence. React verbally. She didn't want to answer. Be sufficient. Be adequate, either in quality or quantity. A few words would answer. A statement that solves a problem or explains how to solve the problem. The answers were in the back of the book. A statement, either spoken or written, that is made to reply to a question or request or criticism or accusation. I waited several days for his answer. Understand the meaning of. The question concerning the meaning of life cannot be answered. A nonverbal reaction. His answer to any problem was to get drunk. Be liable or accountable. She must answer for her actions. Be satisfactory for. Meet the requirements of or serve the purpose of. This may answer her needs. Give a defense or refutation of a charge, or in an argument. The defendant answered to all the charges of the prosecution. Give the correct answer or solution to. Answer a question. Match or correspond. The drawing of the suspect answers to the description the victim gave. React to a stimulus or command. The steering of my new car answers to the slightest touch. Respond to a signal. Answer the door. The principal pleading by the defendant in response to plaintiff's complaint. In criminal law it consists of the defendant's plea of guilty, or not guilty, or nolo contendere. In civil law it must contain denials of all allegations in the plaintiff's complaint that the defendant hopes to controvert, and it can contain affirmative defenses or counterclaims. The speech act of replying to a question. A phenomenon that follows and is caused by some previous phenomenon. Produce as a result or residue. Issue or terminate, in a specified way, state, etc., end. Result in tragedy. A statement that solves a problem or explains how to solve the problem. He computed the result to 4 decimal places. The semantic role of the noun phrase whose referent exists only by virtue of the activity denoted by the verb in the clause. Something that results. He listened for the results on the radio. Come about or follow as a consequence. Nothing will result from this meeting. A statement that solves a problem or explains how to solve the problem. They were trying to find a peaceful solution. The set of values that give a true statement when substituted into an equation. A homogeneous mixture of 2 or more substances, frequently, but not necessarily, a liquid solution. He used a solution of peroxide and water. A method for solving a problem. The easy solution is to look it up in the handbook. The successful action of solving a problem. The solution took 3 hours. A liquid substance capable of dissolving other substances. The solvent does not change its state in forming a solution. A statement that solves a problem or explains how to solve the problem. Capable of meeting financial obligations. Finding a solution to a problem. The ability of a microscope or telescope to measure the angular separation of images that are close together. An obstruction in a pipe or tube. A rule for limiting or ending debate in a deliberative body. A Gestalt principle of organization holding that there is an innate tendency to perceive incomplete objects as complete and to close or fill gaps and to perceive asymmetric stimuli as symmetric. The act of blocking. Approaching a particular destination. A coming closer. A narrowing of a gap. Termination of operations. They regretted the closure of the day care center. Something settled or resolved. The outcome of decision-making. He needed to grieve before he could achieve a sense of closure. Terminate debate by calling for a vote. Debate was closured. The act of colonizing. The establishment of colonies. A community of people smaller than a town. Termination of a business operation by using its assets to discharge its liabilities. A body of people who settle far from home but maintain ties with their homeland. Inhabitants remain nationals of their home state but are not literally under the home state's system of government. Something settled or resolved. The outcome of decision-making. They finally reached a settlement with the Union. A conclusive resolution of a matter and disposition of it. An area where a group of families live together. A distinguishing feature of your personal nature. The act of disrupting an established order so it fails to continue. His warning came after the breakdown of talks in London. A cessation of normal operation. There was a power breakdown. An analysis into mutually exclusive categories. Biology, the process of decay caused by bacterial or fungal action. A mental or physical breakdown. An analysis into mutually exclusive categories. The act of dividing or partitioning. Separation by the creation of a boundary that divides or keeps apart. Writing that provides information, especially information of an official nature. Writing that provides information, especially information of an official nature. Computer science. A computer file that contains text, and possibly formatting instructions, using 7-bit ASCII characters. Anything serving as a representation of a person's thinking by means of symbolic marks. A written account of ownership or obligation. Record in detail. The parents documented every step of their child's development. Support or supply with references. Can you document your claims? Writing that provides information, especially information of an official nature. Computer science. A line of code written as part of a computer program. A fact or assertion offered as evidence that something is true. A document showing credits and debits. The act of affirming or asserting or stating something. A message that is stated or declared. A communication, oral or written, setting forth particulars or facts, etc. According to his statement, he was in London on that day. A nonverbal message. A Cadillac makes a statement about who you are. Music, the presentation of a musical theme. The initial statement of the sonata. The act of making up your mind about something. A position or opinion or judgment reached after consideration. Satisfied with the panel's determination. The quality of being determined to do or achieve something, firmness of purpose. His determination showed in his every movement. The act of determining the properties of something, usually by research or calculation. The determination of molecular structures. Deciding or controlling something's outcome or nature. The determination of grammatical inflections. The act of determining the properties of something, usually by research or calculation. Something that is found. The findings in the gastrointestinal tract indicate that he died several hours after dinner. The decision of a court on issues of fact or law. A natural phenomenon involving the physical properties of matter and energy. The cognitive process of reaching a decision. Having the power or quality of deciding. Cast the deciding vote. The cognitive process of reaching a decision. A good executive must be good at decision-making. The act of making up your mind about something. The burden of decision was his. A position or opinion or judgment reached after consideration. A decision unfavorable to the opposition. The trait of resoluteness as evidenced by firmness of character or purpose. Boxing. A victory won on points when no knockout has occurred. Had little trouble in taking a unanimous decision over his opponent. The outcome of a game or contest. The team dropped 3 decisions in a row. event whose occurrence ends something. The proposition arrived at by logical reasoning, such as the proposition that must follow from the major and minor premises of a syllogism. The act of making up your mind about something. He drew his conclusions quickly. A position or opinion or judgment reached after consideration. His conclusion took the evidence into account. The act of ending something. The last section of a communication. In conclusion, I want to say. The temporal end, the concluding time. A final settlement. The conclusion of a business deal. An intuitive assumption. Jump to a conclusion. The structure of music with respect to the composition and progression of chords. Agreement of opinions. A harmonious state of things in general and of their properties, as of colors and sounds, congruity of parts with one another and with the whole. The structure of music with respect to the composition and progression of chords. Compatibility in opinion and action. An agreeable sound property.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.